and welcome back to the Pretty Little Podcast. We're your hosts.
Finally, Phoebe.
Phinally. Finally, Phoebe.
Guys,
and I am
Criminal Caroline.
completely sure it's really me, Caroline.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Do you remember, and you might not because you aren't an actor, but in acting class when like there was that game where it was like, okay, we're all going to go around and you're going to be like captivating Caroline, like precocious Phoebe. But I just would have loved if like when it got to you, first of all, one of two things could happen, but not both. The first option is that you say something that starts with the letter F. And then going to Phoebe just because phonetically, you've always been a phonetic speller. You know how to spell your name, but you might have thought we were going by sound. But what would have been also funny is if you did something with a P and someone's like, Phoebe's doing it wrong. Aren't we? I'm just checking. We're supposed to be doing a letter that starts like was with the letter of our name. Okay. I just don't know if we all know that, but okay, just checking for me, just for everyone.
Was kind of
question for the class.
I don't have that exact memory, but there would be like in class, like when you were learning everybody's names in like elementary school, everybody would have to pick like you'd go around and be like, what's a food that you like that starts with the first letter of your name, like things like that. And I did run into that issue in elementary school. Kids would get confused.
Yeah, of course.
And I'd be like, okay. Either way, I'm in the wrong, though. Either way, I'm upsetting half the classroom.
It's crazy that you think they are so deeply invested in how your name is spelled that they would be
I'm telling you,
actually
this is
upset.
actually, this is coming from experience.
Okay, sorry.
Because if I said, like, pasta, people would be like,
it's pasta.
Phoebe's fucking stupid. Because her name doesn't start with a P.
Going like pronunciation. Well, it would be weird if you. Well, yeah. Sorry, I went back to acting class. It would be weird if you're like pasta Phoebe.
No.
And that's anyway. Okay. I can't
Guys,
believe how long it's been.
I'm sorry.
Like I actually can't.
Like a month. Basically.
It has not been a month, and don't even put that out there. Hey, you little trolls, don't get that soundbite, okay? It has not been a month. We did not leave you hanging content free for a month. And really, we didn't leave you hanging content free at all because I've been churning out the posts, okay? I've been keeping Instagram's lights on.
Best Buy messaged us.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was just like a normal customer service message, but
it's hilarious
like,
that they read what I wrote and were like, better messenger.
I'm like, okay, are you gonna give me free data recovery?
I'm like, yeah. Hey, read it and weep, Best Buy. Check out everyone who does not know a thing about you.
The guy comes out from like behind the curtain at Best Buy with my hard drive, and he goes, "Yeah, I can't get a read on it." And I was like, well, actually, I don't even know if he led with that. I think he led with this because he did say this. He walks out and he goes, "So how important are the things on here?"
And you said, I'm sorry, take a good look at me and then ask that question again. Obviously, they're incredibly fucking important, my guy.
But I also like, I did immediately get it. Like, and this made me feel a little bit better of like, imagine if it truly was like the most important stuff. Like, imagine if I was a doctoral student and I was writing like my thesis and I was trying to be extra careful and I put it on a hard drive so that I could rely on it.
I
and
guess
then it was gone.
In that
What if I
case,
wrote
maybe our hard drive would cost more than $21. If we were trying,
But it's like I used them all through college.
I know it's really weird.
It's my fifth one. That was my fifth one. I think it was the color maybe.
Shut the hell up about that. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought for a second you were like angry with me for purchasing you a pink hard drive without asking.
No, it's just my only theory that I can have because all my other ones are black.
Well, maybe, you know what? Honestly, you're right. They were like, pink is a girl's color. Anyone who purchases this doesn't deserve to use technology. And they just like, it's a toy, actually. So actually a miracle it's worked this long. They took it back there. They're like, there's nothing in here. Like, it's just a shell. It's a plastic. Are you okay, ma'am? And you're like, what do you mean there's no? Oh, what have I been listening to? And then suddenly you're not in Kansas anymore. You're not at the Apple Store or the Genius Bar or Best Buy. Sorry, anymore. You're now wearing grippy socks.
Or you wake up from a dream and it's like 600 BC and you've like dreamed this entire universe.
And you're like, but I have literally no idea how they did it. You're like, I can dream up. I can see this entire universe that we could have, you guys. But how did we do it?
No, this would be my thought. I'd say
we're gonna have to wait for it just to happen.
Whatever I learned while we were there, we need to stay far away from. We need to stay.
Whatever
far
I
away from
learned
it.
when I was there, they're doing something called gulp math. Yes. We don't want anything to do with it. Let me tell you now. Okay. And all I have to do to prove to you that we don't want anything to do with numbers or math is I'm going to show you the trailer from the movie M3gan. Okay. And that's all I need to do to convince you to keep those quadratic equations far away from me.
That turns into the world's first mass casualty event. Me airing the trailer of Threegan.
People just start like running around like in the quiet place. Like they're like, or like, no, and what's that? Bird bath? Bird box. Bird box. People start running around like, they just like are jumping off bridges, but they don't even mean to. They're just like running around blindly because of what they're seeing is so horrible, so unimaginable even.
Yeah. All this to say,
it's 2013.
Guys, I do have a question for like people in technology. Like, people have jobs that, I mean, not that we don't, but I'm just saying like our world didn't come crumbling down because we didn't release a podcast on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Some people have like a job, like a real job, where they have to rely on what happens when their hard drive corrupts. I know you're gonna say they're using one that's more expensive.
Yeah, that is what I'm gonna say.
But everything can corrupt. That's what we learned in school.
And absolute power corrupts too. So
I'm just saying, what are they supposed to do? What if Jack Antonoff's hard drive corrupts, just like
absolutely corrupts? Yeah. What
if Jack Antonoff's hard drive corrupts?
Taylor Swift probably has like her own trademarked version of the cloud that's like just called the lavender haze, and that's where everything is kept. So don't worry about him. Next person. Next person you're concerned about. Well, today, guys, we're just going to jump right in to the recap. But next Tuesday, you're going to get pop culture. It's sad because we fully did record an episode and we made it a little bit extra long because we knew we didn't do it in the and this is the reason, though, that I'm always like, I don't want to skip. I'm scared of skipping because then it's like the unexpected happens and it's like, if we hadn't skipped last week, this wouldn't feel, but it's fine.
Caroline,
it is what it is.
I just want the world to know Caroline needed to skip last week.
Yeah.
Caroline needed to skip.
Well, and it's like, who needed it more? Because if Phoebe had been forced to listen to my voice, I don't know if we would have had a podcast anymore like following that week. So that's why actually we both needed that week. But I didn't want to take the week off. Let me be very clear. It like was not in the cards. I literally, can you believe I canceled every single one of my lessons? That's crazy.
Caroline, yes, I can, because you sounded sick. I am so glad we canceled.
I know, but not
because of my reason, but I just mean like you sounded like you needed to just rest for a week.
I honestly feel like my brain were like, hey girly, we reached our breaking point.
We gotta dial it back.
We reached our breaking point, I think. Can you go lay down for a week and shut the fuck up? You know what it was? It's crate time.
You needed crate time.
Oh my God. The universe was like, hey, Caroline, crate.
Your brain kept doing like what normally works to get you to take a little bit of crate time. Your brain shows up to the office of the immune system and goes, guys, I've tried everything. We need to bring in the big guns. That's you.
He's like, guys, look around.
You guys take a week off. You guys take a week off.
They're like,
go
party,
on vacation.
Fuck it. And then I'm just poisoned for a week. Yeah. But it's interesting in this episode, I was really like, I came face to face with like just how important crate time is. And I believe that season 5, episode 20 of Pretty Little Liars, Pretty Isn't the Point, can actually be a commercial, a government funded advertisement for universal crate time, because that's what this episode told me. Like, if we had just had a little bit of crate time, a few things could have been avoided. And one of those things is just me being annoyed.
By which character?
Spencer. The annoyance would come from Spencer.
Fair enough.
And if you were trying to get me to say Mona, you're fucking crazy. If you're trying to get me to turn on my girl.
No, but are you understanding now? Is it starting to click for you?
Yeah, I understand. And like we'll talk about it when we get there. Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get there. I mean, it's starting to click, but it's just like, at least we're getting more of her. Like, yeah. You must understand, I also am under the assumption at the time that like it's just over. But also, there are just still outfits that I'm waiting to see. So I'm like, how about this? When I watch the last episode of season 7, then I will know for sure what I think.
Yeah,
about everything.
But I just want you to know, you already have the answers.
Yeah, they're called spoilers on the internet. It's called, I made a Facebook group called Mona Vanderwall. You will always be alive.
Oh, good one.
So funny that Lady Gaga like just talked about that Facebook page. There are people that didn't know about it, which is bonkers. Have you guys heard us say, Stephanie Germanotta, you will never be famous? And did you think we were just like saying that? Like, what?
Imagine they thought we made it up.
Because it's something that we just do say. Oh my God. Wait, there was that hilarious Bravo tweet that was like, respond with your favorite deep cut or whatever. And I responded with the 2 that we frequently say. One being, last time we checked. You've got 2 legs. Last time we checked. And then she does her actual crazy eyes. Yeah, and then Faye, ew. She's like actually so grossed out. It's such a funny ew. And I hadn't really noticed that. And then I also responded with, and now we've said it. Camille Grammer.
That one. And then also, you know, I love.
Oh,
show yourself out, darling.
Yes.
Actually, last night I spent way too long looking for that
in the
clip
mirror
because people cut that part out of like they'll start when Ken starts to yell when they like recycle the clip, and I couldn't remember.
Because Lisa saw it and she said scrub it. She said burn it.
I couldn't remember if she said like what she said before darling. And so I was like, is it don't let the door hit you on the way out, darling? Like what? I could not remember what she said. So I had to spend like hours trying to find just that part. Hours is so dramatic. It took me a couple minutes. But
what's more embarrassing, the idea that you would have spent hours on it, or the idea that it only took you a couple minutes and it's such a deep cut?
It's not really that deep of a cut because it was on the search bar. Not what the quote, but the fight. There's enough footage of the fight on TikTok that it didn't take that long. I just had to fast forward.
I really thought you were about to say, last night I spent so long looking in the mirror, practicing myself saying, show yourself out, darling.
Show yourself out, darling.
Darling. If he's like, I don't need to practice in the mirror. I practice here recording with you, and I can see myself in the Zoom screen. All right, well, should we get into this one? Okay, I'll do the recap. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with Hannah. Oh, sweet Hannah. So she got into some great colleges because she is, of course, as we always said, extremely smart. And she unfortunately did not get any financial aid because technically her dad makes enough money. And she is like, okay, golden opportunity to go see my dad and tell him how great I am. He's going to be so proud of his daughter. And she shows up and he's like, oh, bummer. I'm already paying for your demon stepsister's college, so I can't pay for yours too. And that obviously sends Hannah into a bit of a tailspin. And we get this little flashback in the recap before the episode of Kate saying to Hannah, which is one of the most abhorrent lines. I didn't even remember it, but I'm so glad they showed it to just show us who the fuck Kate Randall is. The quote is, taking all the fight out of it until it feels like it's broken. By the way, talking about a horse. That's how you're going to feel when I'm done with you. And I heard that and I was like, wait, but that is how Hannah feels right now. Like, that is 100% how she fucking feels. And it's so sad. Okay. Moving on to Arya, Mike is looking really suspicious, which Arya cannot have because she's got the golden family. But just wait until she realizes that it makes her a victim, and that will get her even more attention. She's going to be all for it, okay? We know that Mike visited Allie in jail, and we also know that he fought with Mona the day before she was killed, but we don't know why. We also know that he stole blood, and we believe it was the blood of Arya, Hannah, and Spencer from a blood drive. And then we know he met Cyrus Petrillo at a bar in the middle of nowhere because Arya and smart Andrew followed him. And then after that, somehow A had possession of the girl's blood. So it kind of seems like Mike is working for A, and that they're trying to frame the girls for Mona's murder. Arya got into SCAD, thank God, by the seat of her freaking leather pants. And she's terrified of losing this spot. So she's cheating off of smart Andrew's test, and he notices. So he offers to tutor her. But it became very clear to me, quite obvious, in fact, that he just wants to join the freaking clique. Okay. He wants to be one of the girls. And that's why he drives them out to this bar. And then he ultimately saves them during a standoff with Cyrus. But the girls are actually kind of pissed because, of course, they are addicted to danger. Spencer has a new roomie, a new broomie. That means bro roomie and also barn roomie. So that's a new word. Tricked her, absolutely duped her into vandalizing Hollis College with him in the middle of the night. And I don't know how she never got an icky feeling, but alas, she did not. And she flips out because suddenly she wants to be a high achiever again. Okay. She said it is academic weapon fall and I can't be going to jail. I'm already on their fucking watch list because yes, I was arrested for murder. And now we've said it. And she kind of has that moment with him in the yard. So that's what's happening with her. And she and Toby are kind of on the rocks because he's a cop and that doesn't really jive with her whole bad girl lifestyle. And as for Emily, she is being taken advantage of, which is a common theme in this show. She's going on a date with Talia, her coworker at the brew, starts liking her, and then, of course, finds out that Talia is married. And get this, it's to a man. But apparently, they have an open relationship. She tells Emily that he's known she's been gay forever, and they're just best friends, and that's why they don't get a divorce. So Emily is, feeling weird about it, but we're going to try it out anyway. And that is what you missed. All right, heading in to Pretty Little Liars, Season 5, Episode 20. Pretty isn't the point. But isn't it, though? That little last part is not part of the title. I added it. But isn't it, though?
So we started in Mike's room, and the girls are in there. Oh, my God, the scariest.
They are doing what I would call
they've ever done.
Rummaging.
They are rummaging through everything.
Hardcore rummagers right now. Hey, rummagers kind of goes hard, as a name for something.
Oh, okay, another tier of the fans.
A group of thieves. Oh, no, I think yours better. Not a group of misfit thieves, who am I to say? I don't know. Our fans are different. Who knows? I support you guys in whatever you're doing, mostly.
So they're searching for evidence for something, and Hannah's asking about all of Mike's gym equipment, and is like, how did he pay for all this? And then Arya suddenly feels a wave of guilt, and she's like, guys, I really don't think we should be doing this. Something
Arya,
doesn't feel right.
How about you give me a freaking break? Hannah has such a good line.
Hannah says, because Arya says, this feels wrong. And Hannah goes, Arya, what's wrong is that your brother is giving our stem cells to A.
I'm sorry, gathering up our stem cells is hilarious. Hilarious. And Arya's then I wonder if maybe it wasn't our stem cells. I wonder if it wasn't our blood, but it was probably just cash and it's fine. And so Spencer's like, we should check the fridge. And I'm like, Spencer, trust your instincts more. Okay? Stop. You're getting a little bit muddled. You're getting lost in the weeds a little bit. You're getting distracted.
Up the pre-workout that we know has the blood in it.
It's just
and then Arya finds something. Then it's me. Look at me, look at me.
Well, and question for you, because Emily offers to go through Mike. Also, imagine, Phoebe, I want to paint a picture. You come home from school. Well, I guess we'll do it like you and Lily, okay? You come home, or she comes home from school. No, yes. She comes home from school. You're in her room with 3 of your friends, rummaging. The rummagers.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Also, could you imagine like recruiting 3 friends to go through your sibling's room? What? You do it? But Emily's like, I'll go through Mike's duffel bag. And Ari's like, no, I will. I was like, well, okay, what is in here that Aria already knows about? Because why else would she be like, no? It's like she knew there was going to be the ticket, the interesting find in that duffel bag. But for real, then we never find out, like, was it just because she didn't want Em to, like, touch his gross stuff? Like,
maybe.
If that was it, the point got lost in translation, Aria.
Yeah, my favorite part here, though, is that, so Aria finds a necklace and pulls it out and is like, what is this? And Spencer holds it up, immediately knows it is because she's been getting a targeted Facebook ad for this exact gift, which is so funny. It's a necklace with a message in Morse code on it. And the Morse code there's something so funny about Spencer's algorithm saying, oh, we have the perfect piece of jewelry for this girl.
There's also something so funny
Her
about
first
knowing
Google search was Morse code alphabet.
Yeah, they're like, this girl's always trying to solve puzzles, cryptograms. This will be right up her. We don't know what she's up to, but this will be right up her alley.
It's also, while we're at it, while we're plugging this into our algorithm, let's also put her on the watch list.
Yeah, just in case. We've got tons of, we got all kinds of people on the watch list. We have access to everyone's phones. You can't imagine. You literally can't imagine, but she caught our eye. So, what was I just going to say? Darn it.
What you think is more interesting.
Oh, well, no, not that it's more interesting. It's almost comforting. I would say that Spencer and Dad both really have an affinity for Facebook ads, and they read them like a book. And obviously, like, Spencer's clicked on it a few times. If she
identified if she fully knows what it is.
So she's like at least thought about purchasing it. She's added it to her cart and then abandoned it, like on purpose or as an accident. Like on the TikTok shop. But like, yeah, like for sure.
Speaking of which, hey, TikTok shop, I need you to dial it back.
I'm over it.
Every other video can't be a TikTok ad.
Yeah. No. And I just want you guys to know that I could be doing this, okay? Phoebe and I could be doing TikTok shop ads, like in a major way. And we don't, because I just feel like, first of all, it would feel contrived to me for a lot of this stuff. But second of all, like, I just can't believe some of these people are like, oh, this is like, my followers are going to freaking love this. Like, I would be like, you guys are all going to unfollow us if I start posting this. If we ever put anything like, from TikTok shop, it means that it's like,
we're desperate.
No, it means that we love it. It means that whatever it is, like, honestly, like,
yeah, that's true. My water flosser, I do one for my water flosser, but the people that do the water flosser ads are so annoying. That's what I'm saying. No, but this is the issue. You know exactly. This is kind of like what you're saying. The genre of people that do the TikTok shop videos is not how we're trying to be.
It's too much. Giving. Did you buy enough followers so that you're eligible to join the TikTok shop? Because who are you? I've never seen
you.
That's what's weird about it.
For sure. But I just want TikTok to know it would be more effective to me if every like 50 videos I saw a TikTok shop ad. Because I'm getting to a point where it's like, I was interested in this at one point, but I didn't want to buy it in that moment.
Yeah.
So I clicked on it maybe, and then I kept scrolling. Remind me in a month when I might want to buy it again. Remind me on payday.
Yeah. Hey, TikTok, let me just input my pay schedule for you.
Well, they already know.
They probably already have it.
They already know.
Actually, good point.
They have my banking information for sure.
All right. So, anywho, we think that this message on the Morse code necklace is probably for Allison.
It says, Emily, I'm with you.
Yes. Emily is walking into the brew, and Talia, did I miss something? Did I freaking miss something? Did you record last week and I just didn't watch the episode? Because when did Talia and Pam Fields become neighborhood besties is my question.
I'm like, probably when they realized that they were closer in age
probably
than they are with Emily.
When Pam saw them sitting on the porch together and she was like, oh my God, hi. Are you her tutor? Thank you so much for getting, I know. And Talia's like, Emily's like, just go with it. And Talia did. Because Talia's like, okay, well, I mean, I'm fully married, so I might as well lie for you now. I'm lying to you. I might as well lie for you.
And Talia's like, isn't it nice that we have something else in common, not just you? And it's like, you also have your age in common, is what I'm saying.
Like,
you guys don't need to have anything in common.
Also,
you
like,
and
I'm
Emily don't have
sorry.
anything in common.
No offense, Mom. Love you so much. I don't want my partner to have much in common with you.
No.
Besides your nurturing spirit and love for me. That's pretty much where the similarity should start and finish. Thank you. You know? Like, maybe
Exactly
geographic
right.
location as well. That's really it. Because I think there are a lot of moments here where I'm like, and this is where it's like, and yeah, that's why we don't date people who are not age appropriate.
Old.
Emily, like, this isn't, I guess, old is also how one might say that. But I thought it was wild that Emily walks in and Talia's like, it's your mom, and then doesn't even like offer Emily to talk to her, and it hangs up.
Yeah.
Emily's like, oh, she didn't want to talk to me. She's like, why would she need to talk to you? You can call her if you want to. I'm not your secretary.
And we basically find out that they're keeping this between themselves. Well, Emily says,
Yeah.
we're just keeping this between you, me, and your husband.
And your husband. We're your husband, a regular throuple. And then Talia says, do you just wake up this beautiful? And I want to say to you, Talia, it's called youth. It's called fucking youth, okay? That's what that glow, we call it the youthful glow. Go to Sephora and date someone your own age. Go to Sephora and then go to church with your husband.
And then
Not in a weird way.
You guys should see the look on Caroline's face.
I just meant like
Caroline just saw our careers flash before her eyes.
Yes, I did. I just meant like you're like stepping
We know
outside
what
of
you
your
meant.
marriage.
Don't
Well,
worry.
You know. You can only speak for you and the voices inside your own head.
Then the rudest teenager in America walks into the door
God, and
of
I was
the
like,
closed
okay,
brew.
so it is genetic. I don't know if it's nature or nurture, but I do know it's a parenting issue. I know it comes from the parents. That made that crystal clear to me.
Mike walks in and he's like texting, ringer on, and Emily says, oh, hey, Mike, we're closed. He looks at her like she has 8 heads and says the door was open.
Not even that nicely, Phoebe. He goes, well, the door was open. And I'm like, that's where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry the door was open. I will wait. And then Emily would be like, oh no, like, what do you need? You know, and that's how that, and I'd be like, okay, do you mind? Could I just get, please? I definitely would say please and thank you. That for sure would have come out of my mouth, especially if I'm in.
Oh yeah. And I definitely would put my phone in my pocket.
I also would have it on silent.
And he says, I'm going to need coffees to go or whatever. And
Yeah. Well, at first he's like, I just need a coffee to go. Yeah. And then he's like, I'm going to need 2. Yeah. I said, can I get a please? Can I get a please, Emily? Are you frozen?
And then,
oh
no, sorry. I didn't know if you were done.
And that is how riveting my co-host is, people. She wasn't even frozen, and I fully believed she was.
Guys, normally I throw my head back.
She couldn't
laughing
be more
like a little
animated.
kid.
It's bonkers. I was like, she must be frozen because she's never this still. Just kidding. Every time I tell a joke, she's that still.
And Emily's like, well, can I send a pastry along with it? And Mike goes, no, they're just for me. It was a long night. And Emily's like, what were you doing? And Mike says, look, Emily, I already have one older sister. I don't need another. And then he leaves.
Not looking
Did
for
he even
another.
pay?
Yeah, he did pay. I clocked it because believe me, I was looking. I was like, you're not about to disrespect my girl and then stiff her. I don't think so, honey. And there better be a
Really
tip.
good episode for Emily, except for the 10 whole minutes of the episode where she's not acting and it's just Shay Mitchell on screen, actually.
The dancing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but also you're right. Really strong episode for Hemily and for Emily. Like just overall.
Yeah.
Really excited about that. Okay, so then Emily texts Spencer the most hilarious text ever. Mike just came into the brew. He's getting scarier.
I laughed out loud.
I did too, and I rewound it and took a picture. I was like, oh, I'm going to need this. I don't know for what, but I know I will.
Mike just came. Sorry, I started fully just like reading my notes out loud.
Oh my God, I find out she's got the entire episode scripted. And every time I riff, that's why she gets mad. She's like, Caroline, stop. You're going off script.
I'm going to get lost.
Yeah. Spencer.
So we're in what I thought initially was Rosewood Times Square. We later learned that we're on Hollis's campus, which is different every time we see it.
Which is
This
also
looks
why
like
the
Philadelphia.
hell are we... This is why serial killers get caught, Spencer. We don't return to the scene of the crime.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that.
Yes. Did you notice Johnny's fingernails?
No.
Of course she did.
No, I
Wait,
didn't.
she
I
didn't.
don't want you to tell me. Oh, do they have dirt?
Oh my God, caked with dirt.
Oh, no. Ah, he kisses her.
Not yet.
Well, I'm sure he didn't shower in between. I'm disgusted. I'm repulsed.
Also, guys, like the days, the like, I'm trying to figure out how long this day is, because Emily just opened the brew. So it's like, let's say it's 7 a.m.
Okay.
Maybe a little before 7. That means Spencer and Johnny are out getting coffee around the same time, because later Emily gets off work, assuming she had like a 4-hour shift, maybe at like 11. The Marins have just finished making breakfast. Hannah's in the shower. But I thought that was earlier. And then suddenly it's nighttime, basically.
Yeah.
It's late enough that we're able to watch theft occur, but it's early enough that the school is open and Hannah's pageant coach is like working.
Other question is, I love how we're hiring a pageant coach when the whole reason we're doing the pageant is because we can't pay for college.
We don't
and
have
we're
money.
So like, I don't know if hiring and this girl seems to think she's hot shit, which makes me think her price tag is high. So, but
Yes.
Spencer's having
Johnny
coffee.
and Spencer. Sorry, go ahead.
No, she's having coffee with Johnny. And he's asking her if she's like freaked out about living overseas. And he says that he has flight anxiety, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Because Cadet Kavanaugh walks up. And he is less than pleased to see this
episode,
dirty fingernailed man sitting with his girlfriend.
This episode is giving Corporal Kavanaugh, not just Cadet Kavanaugh.
I mean, but also no. Because like, honestly, Spencer, get a grip is what I want to say. Get a fucking grip, Spencer. He is like doing the still bare minimum as a cop. And you're acting like this, girl?
And oh my God, later when she's having her meltdown.
No,
when
that's
they
where I
fully have
said
stolen goods in the
crate
car.
time. When she goes, he didn't do
And
anything
also
wrong.
Spencer-
I said, we've lost our minds.
We started doing stuff wrong when we did the graffiti.
Yeah. But there's actually
And
every
this is
step of
vandalism.
this pretty much has been wrong. I love the line where he's like, I can't believe they're just gonna like take, or no, I think Spencer said it. She's like, they can't just take your art and sell it for profit without your permission. It's like, okay, well, you painted it on property that wasn't his without anyone's permission, so why?
Exactly.
Like, oh, we're
And
gonna
I'm
play
like,
by the
Spencer-
rules now? Do you want to weigh the pot or the kettle, bitch?
Spencer, can we like choose our battles, please? Because you're not getting arrested right now.
No,
Toby's actually
you're acting
doing
like you
a
want
solid
to be. You are acting
because
like
you
want to
should
be.
be arrested.
I literally said, Spencer, you are lucky. He's begging you to stop because if you take one step in the wrong direction, you're on the dash cam and he has to arrest you for this. So like,
He's
and,
like,
and
he's
again,
like, Spencer,
bare minimum of
he's
his
like
job.
walking in front of her.
He's
He's
like,
like,
Spencer,
he's stop.
she like knees him and she like starts actually assaulting a cop. And she's like, he's just my boyfriend. It's fine. They're like, no, that's also wrong. Crate time. And like for real, but we'll get there, you guys.
So-
We'll get there.
Toby walks up and they're like talking, and Spencer lies about who Johnny is and is like, he has an Oxford connection. That's why we're like getting, or she doesn't lie about who he is, but she lies about why they're like hanging out. She doesn't want Toby to understand why they're close. And so she just says that it's about Oxford. And I'm like, I take one look at him and I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. But within 30 minutes of knowing him, you were telling me that you like didn't want to go to college.
Right,
so,
right.
So I'm not buying it.
Yeah, you're like, have you ever heard of the word vagabond, Toby? Okay. I learned it recently. It's cooler than you might think. her parents like hid any kind of word. Like she was never allowed to read like On the Road by Jack Kerouac. Like they like hid any kind of like inspirational text, like the words vagabond. She wasn't allowed to learn.
They knew it would trigger
She knows
her.
everything else, but they're like, don't let her know there's another way.
So Spencer's like, I mean, I'm sorry we haven't seen each other. Are you still like being worked to the bone? Are you free tonight? And Toby goes, yeah, I'm not free.
I'm not. Oh, Phoebe, you're being too nice. And I know it's because you're biased and you like Toby, so I'm going to have to pull back the curtain. This is what happens. Spencer says, if you're free tonight, I'm not. Okay, if that's my boyfriend, I'm like, okay, well, and then I'm not either, ever again. I didn't like it, but whatever.
First, guys.
The way they're acting, I'm like, so did you break up? And did I miss something? They're acting broken up.
They are.
Especially later this
at the end of the episode.
Same mind, girly.
We go to Caleb's apartment, and there was something about the beginning of this scene that just like really.
Wait. Sorry. I meant to look this up. Toby leaves and Johnny like says something in Italian. I don't know what he said, but Toby goes, "What was that?" And he goes, "An expression in Italian," and completely pretentious. You know, Spencer knows what he said.
Toby also says,
"What did he say?
What was that?" And I have no idea.
In a menacing
Toby also
way.
says, "What was that?" in a way where he's like ready to pick a fight. Like he thinks that
essentially
Johnny just
spits
tried
on
to pick
him
a fight
right before. He's like, "What was that?" I was like, "Okay."
We go to Caleb's apartment, and this scene, I don't know why, but I don't know. I just love them. I love them. I feel like in TV shows you don't get like these kinds of clips in the very beginning of this of couples a lot because it always has to be used for plot.
Yeah.
But like seeing him just working on a cabinet and Hannah sitting on the bed and talking to him about like, I know that what they're talking about is like pretty intense, but just like updating him on stuff.
I feel like we
just
see,
like paying attention.
We see a lot of scenes
it really
where like
warmed my heart.
They're just sitting on the bed talking rather than it's like they're real people. Like it makes them more relatable. Also, they both look amazing in this scene. They both look so great. I'm loving the high neckline on Hannah with the middle part and the dark makeup. Like it looks great. And then Caleb's just, he's just looking so good. And so Hannah's catching him up on like what Mike's been doing. And then she's talking about the pageant, which she hasn't told him about yet. And he like starts laughing, but call me crazy. I think he's laughing in a way where it's like, it's kind of cute. It's not mean. It's not like you would never, whatever. But this, I also, when he was like, why would you do this? He has kind of a line that I'm like raising my eyebrows at a little bit. I didn't write it down. I don't know.
Heifer.
Yeah. Something about her like parading around in a bikini, like a heifer at a fair or something.
Yeah. Well, this might have been the line because he says these places are squeaky clean. We were just in hazmat suits rolling out a vat that could have had your liquefied friend in it.
It is a good point.
That's actually her friend though.
Yes.
Don't look at her and be like, your liquefied friend. Okay. She gets it.
Well, she's been hanging out with Arya, so she's actually like heard way worse. She's like honestly probably immune to it now. Arya's probably like, that blended up whore. Like that's probably how Arya talks about her.
When Hannah's filling Caleb in about Mike, they're talking about the necklace and the money and everything. And Caleb's like using Allison's money to buy gifts for Allie. Classy. But I just have like the girls should be thinking about how broke Allie was when they found her.
Yeah,
like we literally have that scene
point
of her with like a $5 bill. And I'm like, you guys are so ready to think that it's her. But how did she acquire all of these resources so quickly to be able to do all of this? And also I feel the same way about this like kind of plot hole that the girls are missing as I do about the plot hole of them like going an entire season thinking that A is only one person.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Can I explore it for a second? Because I can think of something that like this isn't happening in the show, but like if this were real life, I feel like Allie's case, she would be the kind of person that like, because it had so much media attention and she's like this beautiful blonde girl, like
Oh my
Loki
God,
giving
she'd have
John Bonet
people-
kind of thing.
Yeah.
She would
She'd
have
have people
so many
crawling to the
people
jail
like
for her.
visiting her, writing her with money, showing up with money. You know what I mean? So like, honestly, I'm like, her going to jail would have been the easiest way for her to like get rich, because she
That's
could just
true.
con all these people and like not have to lift a finger basically. But what I'm also wondering is like, I guess she did have money stashed a lot of places that she was always like needing other people to go get for her.
That's
So she like
true.
never, like she had money, and it is like, how did she get it? But she never had access to it. So
That's true. Yeah.
I'm only trying, I'm not trying to like shut down what you said, because you're 100% right. It's just like, when I look
I
at
just can't
everything and
believe
try
it's
to make
not
sense
a
of it
thought
for us.
That
No,
they
I know.
have of like, wait, how does Allie have $18,000 in a bank right now?
Not me thinking though, where you were going with this was you were going to say, yeah, and Caleb says like, oh, you know, he's buying her gifts with her own money, classy. And I just want to point out that you did live in Hannah's basement secretly for like the first 6 months of your relationship. So I don't know if we should be saying whether or not things are classy, but okay. But that's not what you said.
And before they have the conversation about the pageant, Hannah's sitting on the bed and she keeps getting the phone keeps ringing, and she like will turn it over and she'll just go,
I know.
and she'll like look
He's
everywhere
like,
and like
what
look
is it?
pouting, and she'll be like, oh, it's nothing.
It happens
And then,
again. He's
then
like,
it'll ring again.
who's calling? No one. I'll call her later. He's like, okay. And he just like gets up and goes. But like, he's never like annoyed by it. It's just like, he's like, oh, well, this is how it goes. And I also think this is a nice little, you know, learning moment for a lot of men maybe in this instance, because he has that line that's like kind of problematic where he's like, I don't want you like parading around in a bikini like a heifer, blah, blah, blah. And it's he's like, there are other ways to make money. Like, we'll reach out to my family for a loan. My stepdad is like super rich, or like blah, blah, blah. And first of all, Hannah's like, okay, well, my real dad just like laughed in my face. So if you think I'm going to risk going to your fake dad, then you're crazy. And
We do not believe that step parents are fake
I was just
parents.
going to say that. I only mean because Caleb has like no relationship with this person. Which is also why I would feel weird. Like, oh, my girlfriend wants to go to college. Me, nah, but she does. So
No, I agree.
You know, but
it is
sweet
such
that he even
teenage boy.
Yes.
It's so teenage boy being like, no, we'll figure it out.
When it's
I'll
like
ask my parents for money. And so then we go back to Hollis, and Johnny and Spencer are discussing the conversation that they had with Toby. And Spencer is like venting, and is so in her own world that she doesn't realize that Johnny stopped like 3 yards away from her, and he's looking at something in the window but doesn't say anything like a normal person would be like, Spencer, wait. Spencer, look at this. He doesn't say anything.
no.
And then Spencer walks up to him, and we see that this art store is selling pieces of the mural that they made together illegally.
Yes. So A is probably behind it. I thought to myself, oh, Johnny, buckle up. You have no clue what you're about to be in for. Andrew is still tutoring Aria, but she's distracted. And just in case you guys were wondering about her commitment to academics, she does have a number 2 pencil tucked behind her ear. And she has her hair styled and I did pause to take a picture from multiple angles just in case nobody else thought it was as important as I do and already put it online.
And I like to believe that Aria, like, it was more of an accessory rather than like they were studying it. Like, before Andrew got there, when she was doing her hair, she put it in. Did you notice that there's another really important detail to her outfit? No way.
I don't know.
Caroline, strap in. At the top of her shirt collar, there is a pin of a realistic panda head.
Okay, no, I did not see that. Why did that even cross our minds? You know,
I wrote Coco Chanel rolling, and by that I mean rolling in her grave.
And in case you're fucking confused, I mean, she's dead. I mean, rolling in her grave. We're literally disrespecting
I'm gonna
the
try
dead,
to find
the
a picture.
deceased. Of Coco Chanel.
I'm gonna
Of her
try to find a
grave?
picture of
Coco Chanel. So anyway,
of
I also
Aria.
this is a moment where I just want to point out, like, I do just love the Montgomery Mausoleum. We talk a
So
lot of shit,
perfect.
but it's
A
like
nice little
such a great
craftsman.
house. It's the wood, the dark wood, the built-ins. Like, it's so cozy. It is really an excellent house. She's being a massive biatch to Andrew. What else is new? I'm like, Andrew, you don't have to keep coming back to tutor her. I bet she's not paying you. But
Not at all.
they're talking about someone named Evelyn Nesbit, and she's like, Evelyn Biscuit. And he says, Nesbit. And she goes, Nesbit. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, no, it isn't. And he can tell something's up, obviously, and he thinks that she's like worried about Mike. He's like, I can tell like you're worried about your brother. She snaps, I'm worried about a lot. It's like, oh my God. Okay, then send him home. Maybe you need crate time, Aria. So then she, instead of that, invites Andrew to do a mission, which is all he actually wants. That is his ulterior motive for being here. So he's all in.
You're not going to believe this.
What?
I'm sending it.
Oh God. Well, while she's sending that, Mike is literally
it's
running down the
sending now.
stairs like a bat out of hell, flipping out
Oh my God,
because
he's so mad.
he can tell Arya was in his room, which I'm like, you guys are going to have that rummage fest that we saw and not just like restore it back to like,
That's what I was.
leave it how it was when you found
messy.
it. It's the number one room of babysitting. Number one rule of babysitting even.
Say it one more time.
Number one rule of babysitting.
And
Holy shit. Does this have hair on it?
that's what I'm saying.
You
Realistic.
know why I missed this? Because it looks like it's part of her dress. Because
I
I'm
know.
like,
I almost was like, wait, am I? Can you believe that? What were they thinking?
I have
Where'd
no.
they
As
find
usual,
that?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
It's kind of seems un-Aria, if I'm being totally honest.
The panda? No, I bet it's like
giving, no, because it's giving like PETA wouldn't like that.
I don't know because I feel like it could be giving endangered species awareness and raising money.
Maybe PETA might not like it, but in Aria's head, that's what it is. So
Yes.
to her, it works.
Which
And then
actually
she's
is, we do say it, she's a virtue signaler. That would be so actually perfect, nuanced Aria core. You're welcome, everyone.
I agree. So Mike says, if you touch any of my things again, you will live to regret it.
Phoebe.
And then he knocks a bunch of shit over.
Andrew had stepped out of the room for this, and then here's the clatter of Mike like doing parkour in the living room, and he comes in, he's like, what the hell? And Aria's like, no, I know.
Imagine before Andrew walks in, just so Andrew takes this seriously, Aria like scurries and
herself
throws
on the
herself
ground. Oh my God.
Andrew!
She like stuffed one of the
Andrew, go
vials of
get
blood in
him.
her pants and like pulls it out. She's like, and just like spills it everywhere. She's like, oh, Dad.
Which is what she does later, by the way. She goes, Dad.
Hormone harmony. You guys know here at the Pretty Little Podcast, we are no stranger to a little bit of PMS. A little bit of a bad mood every now and then, and my own mood swing. I know it sounds crazy, but it happens to even us. And sometimes one of us or both of us, but usually one of us might stay up all night long. We're just a little bit of sleeplessness, some bad sleep quality, just not feeling super great in my body. And it's a lot easier to manage this and manage PMS and everything that comes with it thanks to Hormone Harmony.
Happy Mammoth is the company that created Hormone Harmony, and it is dedicated to making women's lives easier, which is what we're all about here. Always looking for little secret tips and tricks. Hormone Harmony has 0 sugar and is gluten-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, and third-party tested. The biggest benefit, though, is that I'm just starting to feel like myself again. That's what women have mentioned over and over again in their reviews. And clock this, there are over 17,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony.
And we are even one of them. 2 of them even. So Road Warriors, for a limited time, you can get 15% off on your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code Pretty Little Podcast at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code Pretty Little Podcast for 15% off today.
So then we go back to the art store and they go inside.
Gallery.
And we find out, okay, whatever.
I just feel
Then
like
we go,
it's important.
the guy who owns it comes up and is like, they're asking where they got it from. And I'm like, okay, you guys need to be keeping it on the DL that you did this, because this is vandalism.
Yeah, and why does he look so much like Mike White?
I don't know, but he was, I believe, in like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Like he was in a bunch of Disney shows, I think. This actor. But it's the red hair is what makes him look like Mike White. But he says that someone saved the art from being put in like the garbage, and they sold it to him, so now it's his until someone else buys it. And they're pissed.
I wrote here, seems like they're going to try to buy them. Watch Spencer enter the beauty pageant and win for the money, LOL. I'd never look at her again. I'd never forgive her for that, just saying. So then we meet the coach. This is kind of what it's like when you are auditioning for BFA programs in musical theater.
This girl reminds me of, do you remember the character in Gossip Girl? You will. Who played
Charlotte.
I think. Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Who dated Dan?
I actually
was, like,
am not
the
kidding.
sister?
She was the worst. Yeah. Charlie. Yeah. When she's the cousin. She's Lily's sister's daughter, but like not really.
She's a scammer.
She is a scammer. Exactly. But so is this coach, if you ask me. But no, I literally saw the back of her head and heard her voice, and I thought that's who it was going to be. So it's so funny.
I almost Googled it, and I was like, no, that can't be right. The timing doesn't make sense. I almost
Googled was Mike White and Pretty Little Liars. That's hilarious. What if mine was like, yes, goodness. He's actually a huge fan. This was like a dream.
And so they're talking, they're doing questions. They ask, this girl is like, so how would you reverse extinction? That's the softball question. I'm like,
that's kind of a big question. How would I personally reverse extinction of endangered species? Well, first thing I would do is wear a realistic panda pin on all of my clothes to bring awareness. I mean, like, and then the next question is, what is your opinion of our country's current foreign policy? Okay. So Hannah obviously can't answer them. And she is standing there, and this is where the girl's like, pretty isn't the point. Judges don't give out crowns to living lollipops. You need to have an opinion on the world we live in. And Hannah's like, I do. But this broke my heart because the woman says, what do you do well? Like, what is your talent going to be? What do you do well? And Hannah could not even answer. And the girl's like,
A has stolen
everything.
Their whole...
It's just like she didn't ever get to do, the choir auditions or the musical or the dance team or an instrument or anything, cheerleading, because of this other thing.
And you know who doesn't throw a pity party for herself and sit on her couch and look at the yearbook and see
who pulls her up by her freaking bootstraps? Hannah
Not
Marin.
Aria. Not Aria when this happened to her a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
She sat on the couch and cried.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? Exactly. No offense. I'm not victim blaming here, but I mean, if someone had more agency in their situation, it was Aria.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that for sure. I would also say Hannah is actually really giving Phoebe in this moment, because when forced to come up with a talent, I mean, Phoebe has a lot of talents, but Hannah says, I dance. Yeah, I dance. And I'm like, in my mind... And based on what I saw later, Hannah locks herself in like, I don't know, a playroom of some sorts in her house, in her childhood home. And she literally locks the door, turns on music, and is down there for 3 hours and comes out covered in sweat. And she says she's been dancing in there. And you'll never know what it looks like, what kind of dancing I'm doing, anything about it. And that will haunt you for your entire life, mom and sisters that I don't have because I'm Hannah Marin, not Phoebe. Anyway, it's very Phoebe coded. And later in the dance, when she like really lets loose and lets it all go, is like, and this is what Hannah's doing when she puts those headphones on and jams around in her bedroom. When the camera goes away for us, the dance party doesn't stop for Hannah.
Because I was like, this does track for me. This tracks with Hannah, like my idea of who Hannah is.
Majorly. And honestly, also, some of those shots we got of her dancing where she's punching the camera that I also filmed really remind me of like your early videography days,
Speaking of which, Jake Shane, you and me in another life. You and me in another life.
The number of times I have thought that when he shares his videos, I can't wait for you to get to a place where you're like, okay, fine, I'll share them. Here's what's going to happen. One day you're going to log into the TikTok, share one of your old videos. It's going to blow up, and that's going to be how we like really get famous. And I'm going to actually never speak to you again unless it's on air. That's what's going to happen.
I would really have to pick and choose which ones. I would really have to start digging and like figuring out which ones
then
I'm
you'd
comfortable
see-
sharing. Because there are a lot that I'm not willing to share.
Oh, I bet. Don't worry. We all have things like that. The difference is that I immediately shared mine at the time, and now I feel that way. And I had to like go back in time and take them down.
Caroline, your videos are nowhere near as embarrassing as mine are.
You don't know what my videos are, actually.
You don't know what my videos are, actually.
You don't know what my videos are. You wish you did. But
Yeah.
you don't know. And I wish I did too. I wish I could access them because I'm writing this freaking maid of honor speech, which I'm actually having a really hard time doing. And
That's hard.
yeah,
Hey,
I
it's
just feel like
hard.
it needs to be amazing. So I'm like, ugh, stressed. But
Well, if you
I
need
was
any
like,
tips,
I'll
if you need
ask
any
someone
tips or
else
pointers.
for sure. I'll ask Dad. Just kidding. Actually, though, did you give me a copy of yours? Do you have one?
I think I did.
You probably
know,
did, but I don't know where it is. But
I emailed it to Mom and asked her to print it. And I
so it's definitely a
had
mom's email.
I actually
means
had
it's in
to
your
text her.
sent.
I did text her and ask her to print it after the scream heard around the world that morning.
The youch
I actually
heard around the world.
If you can believe it, I had to send her a text asking her to do something for me after I removed all of the shampoo from the shower
On the day of her
morning of
first daughter's wedding.
wedding.
Yeah.
Lily comes into your house to get the makeup done. She goes, Fee, why did you take the shampoo
really
out of the
fucked up.
shower? She all of a sudden
I mean, Phoebe,
I
it
hear
was
this-
insane. And actually, I recommend you stop talking about it because you're going to get a call. Mom's mad about it again. Hey, and
Well, I
3,
just have to
2,
say-
1, Mom's not about it again.
I was exaggerating about it just literally a second ago because I didn't take all of the shampoo out of the shower. I took the like the generic shampoo out of the shower, and for as long as I can remember, in our house, Mom
Mom's
has
a diva.
always had a special shampoo for her curly hair. So I didn't
Yeah.
think it was that crazy, but apparently, just my luck. It's the only shampoo that Mom likes ever is the one that I took.
Yeah,
So,
and they
which is
discontinued
Pantene,
it,
by
so
the
it's
way.
actually the last bottle on Earth. And Phoebe accidentally spilled it in the shower. She didn't even get to use it. So Emily's working,
So,
and she gets a text. Why do we have our
I
ringer on
loved
at work?
Hannah's text. Hannah's text says, "Cancel your life this weekend. You're dancing with me. We'll explain later."
Me texting Phoebe about a TikTok dance that I want to learn and do with her when she's here next week. Except for Phoebe will be
And
less
then I'm like-
cooperative, I promise.
And then I'm like, the only chance you have of me wanting to do a TikTok dance is if we're at PNC Park and I've had approximately 4 hot dogs and 2 Miller Lights.
Yeah, and,
That's
and then
about
Phoebe's like,
the
and if
level
that's
we've
not
gotta
it,
be at.
then no. I know. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, she gets interrupted. Emily gets interrupted by Talia's husband, and he's like asking where Talia is and doesn't know, which makes sense for the story Talia told Emily before, that they're like just friends. They're not actually like romantically involved. It would make sense that he forgot she was in Philly. I guess it's just one day. It's a day trip, but
Yeah.
is it?
And
you
especially
know?
if she's just like going to work.
I
then
guess,
it's,
yeah.
like, he could have forgotten. And he's like, oh, I'll just call the landlord. And Emily's like, can I like tell her who stopped by? And he says, oh, yeah, I'm Eric, Talia's husband. And Emily immediately gets so, I'm like, Emily, you couldn't play it cool even a little bit.
She immediately morphs into Megan Albatross, and he's like, oh, you're Emily. He's like, my wife has recreated this series of expressions you make all the time. He knows it's Emily, and he's like, yeah, Talia talks about you all the time. Also extremely weird given what we learn, because Emily obviously feels uncomfortable, and he's like, hey, you don't have to feel weird. And she's like, okay, well, I do. And she's like, kind of seems like she doesn't want him to think she would have disrespected their marriage had she known. Like, she was like, I did not know when we were like, whatever. And then she told me,
I'm like, well, you're disrespecting it now.
this is, but she doesn't, I mean,
No, I know.
you know what I mean? And then Eric's like, well, you know, if Talia needs to experiment and have a one-time thing, that's fine with me because I love her. And I expect to be doing that way longer than anybody else. Oh
Woof.
my God. I did not see that coming, Loki.
Crazy. I
That
know.
was crazy. I feel so bad for Emily in this moment. I'm also
I
like,
know.
love that this storyline is like a storyline because I feel like this is kind of a progressive storyline for that time.
Yeah, I would agree.
You know
I
what
would
I mean?
agree.
Like
For sure.
Like Emily, when Emily
Especially
later is
when
like, I'm
Emily
not
says
gay because
later.
it's trendy. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
line. So anyway.
So then we go to the woods, and Andrew's watching Mike put something in a tree. That's what happens. And
Hey,
we'll figure out what it
Andrew.
is later. Andrew botches it. Spencer Hastings is rolling in her grave because he doesn't do two things.
You
There are
couldn't
two
have
things
just-
here that he needed to do. One, there's three things. One, I think Spencer would have advised against, and that's confronting Mike.
Yeah.
Two would be just going up immediately and seeing what was in the tree. You're
Take a
bigger than Mike.
picture. Yeah.
Figure out what it is. Three is wait to see who comes to get it. If you want to be part of this clique so bad, you'd be willing to put in the hours.
If he would have been doing that, he never would have stopped because no one was coming. But you're right. Like he should have done or at least wait 10 minutes, make sure Mike's not coming back, and then you just take it and like bring it back to Arya, and Arya will get mad at you, but at least she'll have it. I don't know.
But what he does is none of the he actually does try to go, but then he gets scared.
It's like that
And I'm
quote,
like,
you
okay.
know, like
That's
whatever
how we
you
know
are,
you're not cut out.
whatever you are, be a good one. And he's not really like doing that.
So then we go to the Marin Manor, and Emily walks in, and Mrs. Marin's like, Hannah's in the shower. Do you want to eat breakfast? Emily says, can't dance on an empty stomach.
On a full
can't
stomach.
dance on a full stomach.
Which is
And
so
sorry, we're
toxic
so
ballet
different.
core.
Sorry, we're so different.
Hannah and Phoebe are like, not the way I dance. And I'm like, yeah, I used to go to ballet
us
class where
real
they said, and
dancers.
girls, I can see your lunch.
Terrible. After you were there all day and they made you eat lunch.
After we're
They
there
gave
all
you a lunch
day and they
break.
force us to eat lunch, and you have dance class afterwards, or you just even had like the worst was going to be like, okay, I went straight to dance from school. I had ballet first. Oh my God, kill me. Do ballet in a fucking leotard. Or no, I do like jazz or something, whatever. Then I have ballet after that, and I have to change into a leotard. And in between classes, I eat a granola bar. And then like you feel fatter than you've ever felt in your entire life because you're in a room surrounded by mirrors, and you're like in actually just like a Speedo bathing suit and like lifting your leg above your head and like jumping around one by one across the floor while everybody watches you. It's actually hell on earth to be in a ballet class. No offense.
So we find out that Emily apparently has been dancing since she was 3. She stopped in 7th grade. Pam really wanted a ballerina instead of a jock. And I'm like, Emily.
Shocker.
Sorry, girl.
Yeah, sorry. But Ashley's concerned that Hannah is like, it's actually mom with me going on Big Brother, me being in the public eye in any sort of way, very concerned that Caroline is not actually mentally prepared for what she's getting herself into. Phoebe's laughing as if she's had these conversations with mom behind my back. She's smiling a knowing smile.
We've already like purchased a Nokia phone in case they phase them out by the time you're on Big Brother. We just have an
I
open
open the
phone
storage
line.
room door and there's just like literally an entire case of like burner phones
and safe so we can lock all of your electronics in there when you get back.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
we forgot the codes.
Oh
we literally
my
forgot
God,
the
we are
codes.
such ditzes.
No.
Sorry, Caroline.
We'll work
Guess
on
we'll
that,
never
Caroline.
know. Guess we'll never know. But we're gonna take a family vacation to Iceland.
We find out that you go to the Apple store.
Yeah.
We've sent pictures of you to every Apple store in the greater Pittsburgh area, so they know.
But
not
I'm
to
at a
sell you
Best
any
Buy where they'll
technology.
never find me.
You find the last. You know how they have the last standing Blockbuster. You find the last standing Best Buy.
Best Buy, and I'm like, this is a place where I make myself sadder than anyone has ever been.
You're on the. You don't even want to buy it. You're just on the sample.
Yeah, I know. I'm literally doing it there. I'm like, how late are you guys open? Okay, I'll be out then. I'll go home when you guys lock up.
You're like the don't fuck with cats guy in the internet cafe.
Yes.
Just like Googling himself.
I'm in the library in the public computer. They're like, ma'am, what are you looking up? This is like the most
You're just making
horrific
yourself cry.
vitriol we've ever seen on like where we can see everyone's screen. We know what you're all looking at. I'm like, this is distasteful.
Like,
Tell me about it.
It's all about
me.
They find out you did win the $750,000 prize. And they're like, okay, she can't
They're like,
cry
and you
that
were America's
much.
favorite player. Oh wait, least favorite. Okay, never mind. Actually fine you if you're the least favorite.
Can the winner of Big Brother also win that?
Yeah.
So it's not like Miss Congeniality and RuPaul.
No, you can win both.
Wow.
One year,
Angela,
Taylor.
I've got a
No,
prize
Tucker's
for
gonna
you.
win AFP.
I know. I'm just dreaming.
Sorry, don't even.
And a girl can dream.
Well, you know what? A girl can dream, and one of us did. One of us dreamt of a world where Tucker wins Big Brother, or at least got to stay longer, and he didn't. And I had more than that. And so now I want to make you hurt like I did. Just kidding.
Anyway, so Emily starts asking
asked-
Ashley for advice, and is like, "Hey, is it okay to date someone even if you think it's doomed?"
That is actually a great question, because I think about that. I used to think about that all the time. Anytime I was
think
dating
about it a
anyone, I
lot,
was like,
too.
but can I think about like walking down the aisle? Yes. The answer is always yes.
No, but it is that
The
idea.
answer
of
was
being
always
young,
yes
and it's
until
like,
you like me back.
It's like I just feel like I do think about that a lot. It's like I know realistically at this age, like the next person I date, I'm not going to marry probably, and like that should be okay to know going into a relationship. I feel like it's more normalized now
You
than maybe it
still
was
have
10
like
years ago.
things to learn, and also I think it's okay for like things to evolve. You know, like
I
it
think
might
it's
be.
healthier. It's healthier to not go into a relationship putting the pressure on yourself
Yes,
for it to
agree.
be your one and only relationship.
Yes.
Emily, that's your answer.
Emily,
Ashley
there
doesn't say that.
Is your
Ashley's
answer.
basically like,
Ashley's
no.
like, is this
Actually-
fucking play about us? that's Ashley. She's like, who are you talking about? Me or you?
And Ashley says, no, it's not okay.
Yeah,
she
she says
you should not go into something with those intentions of getting
no
hurt.
one should jump into a relationship without intention, which I think is a good.
I think
a
it's just
good
with
thing.
that intention.
No, she says without intention. Like if you don't have any intent to marry or take
I know
it
what
farther.
you're saying. That's just not what I wrote down.
Okay, well, it's
Because
not
I think
what
she's
I wrote
like,
down either. I wrote down what I just said. So one of us is probably right, but it doesn't mean it's you. Like it's just
It
not
could be,
what I
though.
wrote down. Okay, well, I also wrote something down.
no, but the context also, I just, never mind.
What she said, I thought made perfect sense and was great advice. So I don't think you're right, unfortunately.
Well, I think I'm right. And that's fine.
Okay, well, I will prove you wrong afterwards. For sure.
Caroline, actually, what's cool is I'm not going to care in an hour, so we don't need to, you don't need to prove me
and what's
wrong.
even cooler than that is that I really will. I will.
Okay. Let's
So.
work on that. So we go to Rosewood
How
Times
about
Square.
this? You get a therapist before you tell me what I need to fucking work on. I've got a full fucking to-do list, okay, for Vanessa. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think we need Vanessa for this one. I just think you don't need to prove me wrong when you think I'm wrong.
I want to though. So
Okay, that.
it's fun
Okay.
for me. Get over it.
We go to Rosewood Times Square and Andrew's telling Arya that he fucking failed. He doesn't think he's telling her that he failed, but that's all Arya's hearing.
Hilling.
And which, watching Mormon Wives,
They
I
talk
did
like that
realize
too.
that's the Utah accent. And
Yeah.
for some reason, Whitney's the only one with it.
What do you think? How are we doing on Mormon Wives?
I just finished Menendez Brothers, which, guys,
Oh.
I know, unethical. Maybe I shouldn't have watched it, but here we are. I finished it.
Great. Can't wait to be canceled.
Anyway, I do wonder about the Kim Kardashian wrinkle to that. I need to know more about that visit. Kim Kardashian just visited the
Yeah, I
brothers'
saw.
prison, but she and Ryan are like buds.
I'm sure we'll find
I'm
out
curious
more.
about that. Anyway, I think those actors are great and they've got big careers ahead of them, regardless of
Heard
whether
it here first.
this was a good portrayal or if it should have happened. They did a good job, I think. So, Arya's like, so where exactly was the tree? I'm gonna take it from here. And
It's
Andrew's like, you really should not go alone.
This is
and Arya's
why.
like-
You know what?
Okay, I know you're new here. I was just in an ice cream factory,
Yeah.
abandoned. We're good.
Andrew. I know you're new here. I'm pretty much gonna do whatever the fuck I want, and it's almost always gonna be the wrong move. Okay, so why don't you shut the fuck up and tell me where the fucking tree is? What I thought
Exactly.
here, Phoebe, is this is why he didn't take a picture. He didn't flag the tree. He didn't do anything. It's job security. He said she needs me to take her back. What? I'm gonna tell her which tree it was in the forest. Do you know how many trees are in the forest? No way.
And we
But,
find
doesn't
out
matter.
that these are actually the woods behind Mona's house. Which when we find out what Mike was doing is kind of like,
I know,
like, doesn't
I
it just
know.
like break your heart?
Yeah, he's a good little actor sometimes.
He has his moments.
When he's not playing
Other
like
moments-
angry. I don't like the angry Mike. It's like okay. Or like the too cool Mike is like okay.
I agree.
But the sweet
and I hate his
one,
haircut right
when he
now.
shows us the heart.
Yeah, when he
I
cries.
can't even place it. Okay, so Spencer is startled. There's a knock at the door at the Hastings Castle. It's Johnny. He needs her toolbox. And
The
of
loudest
course,
knock I've ever heard. Actually, not
Yeah.
the loudest knock I've ever heard because my
The one later?
USPS,
oh,
my USPS delivery lady, I'm sure she's sweet, but she bangs on my door when I have a package. First of all,
Wow.
hey, you don't need to knock. Hey, you don't need to knock. I'm good.
same with delivery people. Like I checked, just leave it at the door. In a post-COVID world, there's no reason for you to knock and wait.
She bangs on the door, rings my Ring doorbell, and then bangs again.
What
and
does
then
she
leaves.
think
So it's not
you're-
even
okay,
like she's trying
sorry.
to hang it.
Hey,
hand
Fee,
it to me.
I hate to break it to you, but the former tenant in your apartment was absolutely a massive drug dealer, and she's terrified. She's like, oh God, I'm bringing the shipments every day, and if they're late,
I don't think so because
know.
when he
I'm
when
kidding,
he
obviously.
left. Oh, well, I thought you were being
Jesus
serious.
Christ.
The only thing he left in this apartment was a little leather booklet of a bunch of Vineyard Vines bow ties
And bunk beds, he's a freak.
and bunk beds. But yeah,
Lime
and also like,
green
it'll be like
bunk beds.
like when this hat was delivered on Saturday morning. It was Saturday morning, by the way. 8:45 is when this delivery was made in the morning.
Because it's really important. High priority.
I shot out of bed like the building must be
Probably sound like
burning
a cop
down.
knock.
It did, and I see that she rung the doorbell. I'm like, what does she think I'm gonna do?
You cowering underneath the covers, looking at your phone at the Ring doorbell, watching her like, go away.
Literally. So that's kind of how Johnny knocks, and he comes in and he's like, "Where's your toolbox? Where's your toolbox?"
I like
And
how
Spencer's like,
this is not Spencer's first rodeo. She's like, okay, you cannot break into the gallery. And he's like, or you can freaking help me.
She's like, when
Just
we
kidding.
walked in there, I already checked the lock. It's not
Yeah.
gonna work with a
I
screwdriver.
already cased the joint. There's no hope. But he actually doesn't want her to get involved because her whole like dreams and aspirations thing has been rejuvenated.
The whole this being a crime thing.
Yeah. He wants her to like focus on Oxford, but then she gets mad because, well, this is actually her work and she might be okay with plagiarism and vandalism, but she's not okay when it happens to her.
Johnny says, "You were not gonna drive my getaway car."
He does say that. He does say that.
sings it.
And Spencer says, till it happens to you, you don't know how it feels. That's what she's singing.
Why did she say that?
About plagiarism and things being like taken from her. Like she doesn't care about doing it to other people, but when it happens to her, she doesn't care about taking Melissa's Russian history paper. But when someone's trying to take her work and not give her credit, she absolutely implodes.
What a crazy cut to sing there. That's so funny.
What was crazy about it? It's such a good song.
I think the context.
I know what the
It's just-
context is.
And I also for a second thought it was from A Star Is Born, and then I remembered that it's from a different movie. But
It's
at first
it
I was
from
like
a
trying.
movie? What movie is it in?
Yeah, and she
I
won an
thought-
Oscar for that.
I thought it was for some reason I thought it was for like a campaign.
It was for what was it called? Hunting Ground.
I didn't see it.
But yeah, she did it at the Oscars.
I remember
Which is
that.
why I thought
yeah.
that it was for A Star Is Born, but then I remembered we actually had to watch Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga flirt on stage in front of his wife. I believe they were married at the time for like way too long.
Yeah.
And then they got a divorce. Just a reminder. So we
Stop villainizing Lady Gaga.
No, I'm villainizing Bradley Cooper. That's it.
You better be.
Spencer's freaking in because she finds out that they sold Corner Rabbit, and that's the one that she painted or helped paint.
So Caleb's walking through the school and finds a sign-up sheet for the pageant, and he's like disturbed by something he sees on there. And so as he goes to bring it to Hannah and Emily, we get a view, our first look at Emily Fields' dance class.
Shay
And
Mitchell's.
it's iconic. It's just, Shay Mitchell. I literally wrote, you just know Shay is the only one who had dance experience. Like, they're like, okay, well, we'll just have Emily do this, but it was cute. Like he brings food, but he does say the dance was good, which I'm like, Caleb, as if you wouldn't be in here like, hell yeah, it's my girl. Like even if she sucks, like I feel like he'd be so about her dancing.
I agree. Because it's just fun.
But I think he's still just not on board. I honestly feel like it's from a mental health perspective, though, that he's just like, I don't think you should be doing this. Like, you have a lot of skeletons in the closet and you struggle with your, like, self-esteem. And I don't want you to put your worth in what other people think about you. Like,
and he's proven right. He's proven right shortly.
Yeah. Well, she says, this is so sad. Hannah goes, well, yeah, my coach makes me feel like the girl at fat camp who got caught eating her toothpaste. Oh. And they look at her like, what the fuck? And I'm like, don't even ask her a follow-up question. It's obvious. Shut the fuck up. Annoying.
And Emily's too concerned with the lunch. And she says, did you forget the mustard? And then we find out that Kate Monster signed up.
Kate Monster. I like that. Pageant. Kate Monster signed up and has this dance room that we're in right now reserved tomorrow. Now I was like, wait, has Kate been going to the school this entire time? And we just like I was like, how does she? So I'm glad it turns out at the end, spoiler alert, that Kate didn't sign up and she's actually not even in Pennsylvania. So it was definitely A. Thank God, because I was like, that does seem like a hole I might have poked, but I know.
What a deep cut A went for there.
Well, when I saw it in the recap, I was like, what? Like, yeah, I kind of expected it to be like she shows up at the pageant and we see that it's like Hannah competing against Kate maybe. And that's how we would have found out. But like for it to be this and for it to not even be true, it really is like exactly what Kate said. But I was like, oh, I don't know. So horrible. But
so then we go back to the gallery and Spencer loves a steak outfit. She said, actually, the only reason I want to do this, it's not because they bought the one that I contributed to. It's because I got new black clothes I want to wear and a different hat. So
I'm sorry.
I am going to come.
I was like so kind of just like caught off guard by how this scene started when they pull up in a Volkswagen van. Like the trendiest, most like expensive vintage collectors kind of like, yeah, but also like, I'm sorry, Johnny, you don't have that van. If you do, there's more to you than you're telling. There's more to you than meets the eye, buddy. There's something you're not telling me, you know, because how did you get that?
I agree. So Johnny can't do it. He can't figure out how to pick the lock.
Can I also just say, I'm sorry, people are walking by.
I got it from here. It's okay. This is another. Dusk. This is the timing issue I have because suddenly it's nighttime when we were just at the school. It's like lunchtime because Caleb's bringing lunch. And then,
well, I feel like we get this line that's like that Caleb said or Hannah says, sorry, right before that, where she's like, I'm going to the bathroom, then I'm coming back. We're going to practice till it's perfect. Like we're going to be here all night, whatever. So I guess maybe that's what they're trying to show. Like maybe I'm trying to figure it out because I know I felt the same way. I was like, what's happening? I feel like they've just completely given up on timelines.
I agree because it is nighttime, like we said. And so Spencer picks the lock. Then we go to Mona's house. Aria just goes right through the gate, right through the front yard, right into the woods. She has a flashlight.
This was crazy. She's in the flashlight or in the front lawn, like looking around, like, did anyone see me? Like making sure. And then she pulls out the flashlight in the front. I'm like, at least wait till you're in the backyard. If you're worried about people seeing you in the front, then don't turn the gigantic flashlight on.
Imagine doing this in Mount Lebanon.
Also, just imagine the days when we didn't just have a flashlight on our phones that went on every time you didn't want it to.
I know. Also, Aria, not only is it like weird that you're doing this at anybody's house, but this is where someone you're close to is murdered. It's a murder that you're implicated in. And you're just going to be seen walking around with a flashlight, traipsing through the woods where the murder weapon was found.
Yes. If she wasn't so me, maybe she could have just let Andrew just handle this one so that she didn't have to be, you know, I mean, it's a good thing she was, but still.
So we go back to the gallery. And Johnny's like trying to start taking the art down, and he hears something. And Spencer's back. Spencer can't sit still for 2 seconds again, in dire need of crate time. And she goes, "You're new at this, aren't you?"
She's addicted to just like doing stuff like this. She's addicted to being sneaky.
Yes,
sneaky Spencer.
And then
we have like this montage kind of that begins, and it's Bang Bang is playing. Which is also like, I do want to say something about this dance.
Original Bang Bang.
No, but I want to say something about this dance. this is what we're doing for like the pageant where now you know what this is like. When I did Cell Block Tango at Mount Lebanon High School and got asked to tone it down because it was too slutty. Like this dance is like that. When they start crawling around on the floor and whipping their hair, like that's a direct move from my rendition of Cell Block Tango.
I do feel like Cell Block Tango being okayed for a song to be performed is like kind of on them. It's like, what did they expect you to do?
That's and I'm like, I understand that the choir teacher had said like, no one's allowed to do Cell Block Tango anymore because it's too long and it's never good enough. And I took that as a challenge. Yes. But you didn't have to let me. I know you're scared of me. You're scarified of me. But you didn't have to let me. You know, that's where Caroline came from.
That's so funny.
Elizabeth, our cousin, one time was like, we were just talking and I said like, I was scared. We were like trying to say scared and terrified. We ended up saying scarified. And we were like, oh my God, wait, that's kind of a hilarious word. And they were like, Scaroline. And then that's how that happened.
Here we are.
And here we are. And I've tried to change it a bunch of times. It's not Caroline. In fact, anyone who knows how to spell would understand that's not what it is.
I know that that's not what it is.
I know
it's
you
just
know
what
that's
I say
not
in
what
my
it is,
head.
but it's just not like even pronounced that way.
I know. Tell me about it. I know all about the name thing.
Okay.
The name thing.
Oh my God. So okay,
then
while we're at the dance rehearsal, Caleb gets a call from Ashley Marin checking in. It's very cute.
So cute. Caleb tells Ashley that Kate had signed up. Like he saw Kate's name on the thing. And Ashley's wheels start turning.
Oh, yeah.
And she does some work when they hang up.
Nothing on earth is funnier, I'm sorry, to me than what I thought was happening in this next scene. Where Spencer is watching Johnny. She's back in the car. I guess she got her fill of crime. And then she's back in the car waiting. And Johnny, she's watching him. First of all, perfect view through the window. Absolutely perfect view of what's going on through the window.
And all of the stolen art is visible in the van.
Yes,
too,
the trunk is open or whatever. So she's watching him take down the last painting and he fucking botches it because, as she mentioned, he's not done this before. And the alarm goes off. So Spencer leaps out of the car, shuts the trunk, gets back into the car. And Phoebe, when she pulls the side of the van door down, I thought she was backing up and driving away. I was like, no fucking way. Spencer's leaving him here with his dirty fingernails and his Ramones shirt. Like, she's leaving his ass here. She said, sorry, I can't go down for this. Like, I believed it. And then when I saw she was still there, I was like, oh, thank God. But I believed it. And actually, how funny would that have been? I would have been like, honestly, for once you did something right.
Oh my
Spencer,
God.
get out of there. Oh my God. That's not what happened though.
So then we get a clip of them dancing again. Hannah's starting to really get into it. Get into it here.
Yeah, it's as if she's imagining the camera is Kate's face and she is just absolutely punching it. Well, because there's a line later where like earlier when Caleb gives them the news and Hannah kind of like storms away and he's like, Hannah, you can't just go punch her out. I was like, okay, Caleb, like she's probably not going to beat the shit out of Kate right now. What? Like, what do you mean you can't just go punch her out? Like, she's like, I'm going to the bathroom. It was so funny. But now it seems she's letting out that aggression on the camera and I did film it because I loved it.
And it is like, Hannah, I get it, girl. Hannah, I get it.
Completely got it.
I see what you're doing. So we go to Spencer and Johnny took the van to a gas station that we've never seen before. It's retro.
Not it being called Last Gas. Hey, PLL writers, let's put a little bit more of that effort on like timeline stuff. We can just have a fucking gecko. It's okay. We're in Pennsylvania. It's okay. They have them here.
A Wawa maybe.
Yeah. Sheets.
We're Sheets on Western PA, but I fear the girls would be Wawa stands.
Maybe.
We don't have one yet.
Well, the cops pull up because they're on the Lamb. Don't forget, they're on the Eddie Lamb. And it's Toby. And Johnny's like, yep, those are my paintings in the back. He's like thrilled about that. You know, he just loves, he's like, I'm a bad boy, Spencer. I'm used to it. Okay.
I'm not your
different. It's giving
boyfriend.
Jughead. It's giving Jughead.
It's giving Toby season 1.
I'm weird. Okay. What's the
this
drug
hat?
headline? Yeah.
You ever see me without
Weird.
this stupid little hat on? I'm weird. I'm a weirdo.
You nowadays. You now
Me really
you're back
trying to
into your hat era.
Cement the hat
You ever
back
see me
into my
without
lexicon
this
of clothes.
weird little hat on? Yeah.
Luckily
it's
for
because
me,
I'm
the
not
hats-
normal. I'm
The
weird.
hats that I'm choosing to wear now are a little bit more normal.
I'm glad you feel
before.
that way. I'm glad you feel that way. I'm just kidding. I like the hats. I was just making a Josh.
A Josh.
Just
That's mom's
making
fave.
a Josh. Okay. So, oh my God, I do have a concert to go to soon. So I'm ready, obviously, but let's keep going.
Guys, yeah, don't worry.
I'm completely ready.
Caroline is camera ready.
I am completely ready to be there at 6:15.
Okay.
The concert doesn't start at 6:15. We were gonna go get drinks, but I can meet them at the concert. It's okay.
Okay, love it. No, we'll be done.
Well, I know I'm ready, but I'm ready to freshen up.
So Toby arrests Johnny and Spencer's having a meltdown.
So she's
doing
just
what
taking
Andy
back
did.
what's his. She's
doing what Andy did on Survivor
he's,
last
he's
week.
freaking standing up for the little guy. Okay, you got a problem with that? Like she's talking like suddenly she's like from the. I'm from the streets. I'm one
This
of the
is like
newsies.
she's
Jack
from the
Kelly.
outsiders.
Yes,
The outsiders.
Yeah. It's so funny. She's incredulous. She's like, he didn't do anything wrong. Spencer, he literally did. Toby's like, Spencer,
every single
please,
step of this, even the part where
please.
he made the art that is allegedly his was
Yes,
wrong.
Like every step of the way, I don't even believe this is not a stolen vehicle, Spencer. Like,
And you
Toby
should be
cannot,
arrested.
not exactly. You are acting insane. And Spencer goes up to Johnny. She goes, he's only doing this because he's mad at me. Spencer, don't flatter yourself. Toby goes, I'm doing this because it is my job, and I'm a cop, and there's burglarized property and stolen goods in the vehicle. So that is why I'm doing this, Spencer.
And
She's like,
Spencer
"Ah!"
goes, she goes, is this about Tanner? And he goes, look, yeah, kind of. You're still on Tanner's radar because in case you forgot, you're implicated in a murder that she is investigating, and she's trying to use our relationship to her advantage. So
He's
yeah,
like, I am trying
Tanner
to
is still
help
worried about-
you. You do not need to be giving her ammunition, Spencer. Walk away. And it literally, he keeps backing up. I'm like, he's trying to get her away from that fucking dash cam. He's like, I don't need.
He goes,
whatever.
"Walk
Like
away, Spencer.
your new
Walk
academic weapon
away."
personality is like social justice warrior, and she's gonna like douse herself in animal blood for PETA in front of the dash cam. Like that's like the vibe she's giving. Like unpredictable. She's giving.
She is, and
she's
I
giving
do have
performance art in like not a good way.
I have kind of a question here for Toby and Spencer. Toby's just like, walk away, Spencer. Walk away. She can't drive the stolen vehicle. And Toby's not offering her a ride in the front seat of the
He's
police
like, walk
car.
away and walk on
How
home.
far is this gas station from? We've
Walk
never seen it
away.
before.
And walk on home. Well, wait, why can't she drive the car?
Because it's not hers, number one, and there's a bunch of stolen stuff in it. And then that
Oh.
implicates her in the crime.
Oh, I was going to say, why can't she just like give him the stuff out of the car and like drive home? But I guess.
Just leave it on the side of the road.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
just
That's a
don't
good
think that's maybe the
point.
move.
But she is really lucky she didn't get arrested. So yeah. Okay. So then Arya does end up finding the tree, and it appears to be her first time climbing a tree. She's like, I prefer hugging them. Okay. Not climbing them. I was really proud of that joke. I didn't even laugh.
Wait, say it again. Say it again. Say it
It's
again.
like Arya's climbing the tree for what seems like the first time ever. She's like, okay, guys, I prefer hugging them. Okay, not climbing them. I'm used to hugging
It
them.
landed.
Not
It
climbing.
landed the second time.
Okay, that's fine.
I thought that this was, I mean, Arya's like finally a mission for me. Finally a
Yeah.
side quest for me. I get to be in what
Oh.
I love most, nature.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we just hear like kissing the tree like in Superstar. I wore this key lime lip gloss just for you. But then a
So, man,
crow
the
or
giving-
something
the
flies out of the
giving
tree, and
tree-
Arya finally has an appropriate reaction to something. She's like, what the fuck? I'm like, yes, correct.
And she drops the flashlight, and guess who picks it up? None other than Mike, the scariest teenager in America.
He's getting scarier. Do you want to go through this, or do you want to go jump back to the dance rehearsal?
We can go to the dance rehearsal.
Okay.
The coach is here to see the dance, and we have a good start. It seems
At
like
first,
Hannah's
Hannah's
like
low-key,
gotten.
like nailing
She
it,
got
honestly.
the dance down. She seems confident in it.
Mhm.
And then we get to kind of the bridge of the song.
What I realized
and
is
we
why
kind of start to freestyle.
in what world are you doing a 4.5 minute dance combination to an entire song? Like, she is thrashing her body for every single ounce of music that she gets, which is literally a never gonna happen kind of thing. It's like 90 seconds tops. So I was like, it makes sense that you're fading a little bit towards the middle of a song because you've been doing it now for 2 entire minutes.
We're getting these freestyle. You know the part where it's like bang, 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 bang.
You know the song Bang Bang?
Ooh.
It's like that part of the song. It's like bang. bang.
No,
I know.
I was doing the rhythm.
But at first I was like, could be literally any part of the song.
Hannah's doing finger guns to the rhythm of bang, 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 bang. Ooh.
She like gets on the ground, just lays down and starts like,
Spinning.
I don't know.
Spinning
I
on her
don't
butt.
know how to describe what I watched.
She's doing the breakdance move that every kid does, where instead of spinning on your head, you're spinning just on your butt and you're putting your arms up and you're like you're twisting to create some momentum so that your body spins around.
And it's important that Phoebe does explain this because, as we know, Phoebe could have been competing against Ray Gun in the Olympics. She chose not to do the podcast, of course.
Yes.
Priorities.
Yes.
But was Hannah doing the roller on dig out?
Yes.
Okay, we'll be watching on repeat to learn it. Phoebe's a gatekeeper, guys.
We start getting these Kate clips throughout where like we see that Hannah's just like imagining Kate being mean to her as like fuel for the worst dance she's ever done.
This is acting class when this actually is such a common thing in acting where like you're doing a monologue and then the acting teacher comes up to you and they like whisper in your ear like, hey, okay, I want you to think about your most devastating heartbreak. All right, I want you to put yourself back there. I want you to think about how he smells, every single freckle on his face. Okay, put yourself there. What did he say to you that really hurt? Tell you you're ugly? He didn't want to be with you anymore? Yeah. Keep getting there. Okay, do the monologue. And you start doing it and you're like actually crying. And then they just keep saying like, you're nothing. You're nothing. Whispering in your ear. They're like, pretend I'm him. I never want to be with you again. You're disgusting. You're ugly. I fucking hate you. We're breaking up. You're nothing to me. And then like by the end of it, you're like,
I can only imagine how catastrophic that would feel if you were in the middle of a tumultuous situationship in college and you're a theater student and you're truly going back and forth between like this man still being in your life and him actually saying these things to you, and now you have a teacher telling you to just put yourself there.
Well, I'll never forget when it was a teacher who knew what was going on in my life with the boy that I was talking to.
He starts using his name. He starts using his name.
No, I'm not kidding you. It was, we had a class together with this
psychological
teacher.
warfare.
And then we had to bring in a prop from something for this monologue. And I brought in this book of matches because this boyfriend, like, that was like our thing, whatever. And he had given it to me. And I brought it in. And the teacher's like, so what'd you bring in, Caroline? And I'm like, just a book of matches. And he's like, all right, tell me about it. And literally in front of the entire class made me go through like beat by beat of my breakup with this person that I was like
Christ.
still, and he like had me admit in front of everyone that I was like still in love with him, and I'm sobbing. And the boy I'm currently talking to in the room.
So the dance ends. The dance ends. And the coach says, Hannah, you have no allure.
This coach can go to hell.
No secrets. And Hannah goes, I have a lot of secrets. I have a lot of secrets.
She's like, you actually have no fucking idea. You have no idea how long you got, bitch. Here's what I want to say. This girl's a nothing. Get out of here, you know nothing twat.
The coach says, you might have a lot of secrets. Anger isn't one of them.
Which was like, okay.
That was funny.
I loved that one. And she goes, it's not about the one move, okay? It's the whole package. Everything you're putting out there, you're not pageant material. Emily does stand up for her, but I did think she could have set up a little bit more in the beginning. And she's like, well, I chose a song. Like, it just doesn't really show what Hannah can do. And the coach says, I've seen more than enough of what Hannah can really do. Oh my fucking God.
Hannah leaves. But she sticks around to kind of like hear what's being said. And the coach says, look, it would be criminal taking her money.
Oh, she'd only crash and burn in a much more public and humiliating setting. She doesn't have what it takes to go the distance. You, however, do. Oh, it's like when that episode of Gossip Girl, when Blair's mom has Blair doing the photo shoot and then Serena comes and she's like, do it like this, like whatever. And then it goes well. And the next day Blair shows up to the photo shoot and they have Serena doing it. That's actually one of the most heartbreaking fucking episodes.
It's absolutely terrible. And the fact that we ever thought as a society for even a second that Blair Waldorf was the villain of
and the fact that Serena did that.
Oh my God. And the fact that she
Serena should have said
the fact that she wasn't,
absolutely not. That's what I'm saying. Like it should have just been a no. Didn't even tell Blair.
I'll just stand behind the camera and I'll tell Blair. We'll just like do what we did yesterday, and Blair will be in front of the camera because it was like I did like that. I liked that friendship moment that we saw of them when Serena is like loosening Blair up a little bit because it is like Blair's mom
she like
just
jumps
never
in
let her
and Blair's like kind of laughing. Like it's I know it really is. Oh, Blair's I love her. We'll get there.
So then
Emily turned it down though, and thank God.
Oh, you can go into that. I was gonna skip over that. Emily like stands up for Hannah.
Yeah.
And we realized that Hannah walked out of the school, but she waited in the car until she watched Emily run after her, screaming her name, makes eye contact with her, and drives away.
Yeah. And Emily's like, my ride. All right.
And then, what's my wondering eyes disappear?
Talia dressed up like as if she got dressed out of Hannah Marin's closet. She's wearing business casual.
Hey, Talia, clock into your surroundings here. Where is Emily? What is Emily walking out of right now? A high school?
Yeah.
A high school.
No, for real.
Oh, yeah. And what's that on your finger, and who are you going home to? A ring and a husband. Okay. All right. So this is weird.
I don't even know how she can like look at any of the people in her life and how she doesn't like freak out at the thought of like I don't. Anytime Emily would act weird, I would immediately think the jig was up. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how she never goes there. It's so interesting to me, but I also think it's crazy because I'm like, hey, Talia, Find My Friends isn't invented yet. How did you know she'd be here? Other than the fact that it is a school and she's a teenager. Oh, her mom told you she'd be here. Okay. I'm sure her mom's going to be thrilled when she finds out you two are having an intimate relationship and you've been calling her and she doesn't know that. And she's been like giving you information as to Emily's whereabouts, not knowing that you're actually a fucking like, predator.
How bad this could get when like, okay, so Pam doesn't know this. When they do I know they're in a fight right now, but like if they were in a fight where like both of them knew they were in a fight.
Yeah.
And Emily was purposely ignoring Talia and wanted to be alone, but was telling Pam where she was. And Talia started using the fact that she knows Pam and they have a friendship basically. She'd be able to start getting so not right.
Yeah. And this is where, that is so mom. This is where Emily says to her, like, I'm not into girls because it's trendy. And then she's out because she's a friend who needs her. So even though Hannah's going to be kind of mean for a second and drive away, Emily's not going to abandon her friend in her time of need. And Aria is still climbing that damn fucking tree. But she finally gets the treasure, the aluminum foil.
This is when she drops the flashlight.
Yes. This is when she drops it. But she did find a vial of blood. And when Mike picks it up, she's like so mad. She's so scared. She's like, why are you stashing? This is so funny. Why are you stashing my blood in the woods? And he's like, it's not your blood. Like, I love it. She's just like, it must be mine. She's okay. Or Spencer's or Hannah's.
I did think that was so fun. Okay.
Yes.
Aria.
It's just, and she can't help but just be so Aria.
And I just think it's so funny because I don't think the writers intentionally did this with her character, making her so vapid. It's just who she is.
She is. It's probably because it's because Sarah Shepard created, but Aria isn't really like the same in the books. I think she's more likable. But anyway, Aria also falls and drops the vial of blood, which we have just learned is Mona's, and it shatters. And Mike looks devastated. It is giving a little bit like what in the Angelina Jolie, Billy Bob, like, you know what I'm saying?
Megan and MGK.
Or Megan and MGK, exactly. Hannah gets home. We get this like fridge scene of her examining. She's gonna eat some pizza.
Because it wouldn't be an emotional scene for Hannah without fridge scene.
Without emotional eating. But what I want to say, Hannah, is you just worked out for an entire day, so they didn't even need to do this. It's completely fine if you want to have pizza, and it would be fine anyway. But Emily's talking shit on Hannah's coach, and Ashley comes downstairs and explains that Tom Marin.
Emily says she's not a coach. She's a Gorgon.
Okay, Emily just learned that word. Like, what? My God.
That's so
Talia
funny.
runs a D&D campaign that she asked Emily to join, and she just learned the word Gorgon. Ashley
we have Vagabond and we have Gorgon today.
Yes. Yeah, we got some new writers in the room, and we can tell. And it shows. Ashley
just to be clear, vagabond wasn't said at all.
No,
in the
no.
episode today.
No, but was it? You know, it wasn't,
It was
but
insinuated for
it
sure.
was. So Ashley explains that terrible Tom Marin doesn't know anything about this pageant, and Kate couldn't have signed up because she's not even in PA. So now we know there's another good word, because Hannah says, well, whatever, doesn't matter.
Oh.
Thinking I could do this was asinine. And I'm like, okay, SAT pro.
Okay, vocab.
Okay, Ballard College. But that's not true, Hannah. You can do anything you set your mind to, and I don't like this defeatist
And
attitude.
then this is a rare Ashley L, in my opinion, because
oh my God,
Hannah
I thought
says
the
this.
I'm so glad you think this.
Hannah said that it was asinine that she wouldn't even think that she could do it, and Ashley goes, okay, well,
I'm gonna go take a shower.
I'm gonna go take my shower.
I wrote, seems like a weird place for Ashley to leave and go take a shower. Like, your daughter
so.
is emotionally eating, devastated, like her friends here. You also just found out that not only did Hannah, like, this isn't working, her coach wants her best friend. And Hannah, like, Hannah had, and it's not like Ashley isn't close with Emily, where like she couldn't have this kind of conversation with Hannah in front of Emily. It's like you had a conversation with Emily alone today in the same room.
Yeah, it was
so
really
I don't know why
weird.
you wouldn't be able to have like a 3-way powwow right now.
Exactly. Our mom sure would.
Our mom sure would. And then Hannah gets a text. It says, Kate won't win the pageant, but she's already won your daddy's heart. Oh my God.
Listen, I don't want to assume that Kate's real dad isn't dead or out of the picture or something terrible and tragic, but where's your real dad, Kate? He's not, like, I don't understand how this is the dynamic that has been created where, like, Hannah, the biological daughter of Tom, and I don't know. I know that it's hard. Every situation's different, but what we're seeing in the situation, I'm like, if Tom lives in the same town and like is financially, like, I don't understand why Hannah's just like left in the dust.
Yeah. No,
It does not make any sense to me. If he moved
Justice for
across the
Hannah.
country and they were divorced, it would make a little bit
Yeah.
more sense to me. But the fact that he's so in the picture enough.
And the fact that it's like believable that Kate could even enter this pageant because geographically, yeah, they're so close. Like that just makes it not, you know, it just makes it so weird. But
it's just so annoying. We go to the Hastings Castle.
Wait. Hannah says she's going to drop out of the pageant. And Emily's like, you know what? No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to win it. I'm going to give the money to you, which I'm kind of like, I know it's like sweet of Emily to say, but I'm also like, no, that's way worse. But Hannah's like, stop. And I thought she was going to be like, oh my God, like, I get it. You'll win. You'll be great. She's like, A will just come after you. Like, she just doesn't want, it's at the end of the day, both of them, their friendship is so pure and their love for each other is so pure. They care about each other so much. It's like, they're just such a great example of real friendship. And I just don't think they get the flowers they deserve. She said, A can come after me. This is what Emily says, and it's really strong. A can come after me any day of the week, anywhere. That's not going to stop me from helping someone I love. And it's just, this is true friendship. This is true. And it seems so real because I know they're such good friends in real life too, especially at this point in filming.
Imagine how much fun they had with each other doing the dancing.
Oh my God. I really like secretly hope to find out that Shay Mitchell choreographed it.
So cute. Just so they didn't have to pay someone. I bet you that is what happened.
Or they were like, wait, it'll be fun. We'll like drink some wine. We'll do it. We'll do it. You'll love it. We'll do it. You know?
So then we go to the Hastings Castle and we find out that Vivi posted bail and also kicked Johnny out.
And also, of course, Johnny's next knock is this. Of course.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, well. It's that.
I'll hear it tomorrow. I'll hear it tomorrow. When I edit. So. What?
It's like that.
You're freezing. Oh, okay.
Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, Vivi paid his bail, but she's just taking it out of a security deposit, and she promptly evicted him. About time.
Okay, effective now.
Yeah. He goes, but I need one last thing to borrow. Packing tape. Like, dude, you've overstayed your welcome. I am over Johnny though, being like, I don't really think Officer because Spencer's like, well, Toby didn't call me, and he's like, yeah, I don't really think Officer Toby was in a calling mood. He acted like an overzealous cop and an overzealous boyfriend. He didn't act like an overzealous either, honestly.
I agree.
Have you met Detective Wilden? Have you met Detective Wilden?
Because to be frank, he hasn't really been acting like much of a boyfriend at all.
Yeah, and exactly. And honestly, I would welcome it if he was, because frankly, you are about to kiss his girl. So maybe it's not
Exactly.
overzealous. Maybe it's the perfect amount of zealous, Johnny. Dirty
And then
fingernail
he's like,
Johnny.
Then he goes, and I'll just sleep in the van. I'll just sleep in my van. I have some cool new art to decorate it with. How? How do you have art? It's stolen.
Yeah.
Hey,
also,
clearly Toby's not that good of a cop because he left the stolen goods out.
right. Yeah, but that would be so funny. He's so flustered from Spencer that he left them there. Yeah. I don't know. I'm also like, okay, yeah, you actually have a really nice van. They could probably sell for like a bunch of money, and it's a pretty good setup. So you're luckier than a lot of people who are without a place to sleep, Johnny.
So then we go to the
And he
Montgomery
kisses her.
mausoleum. Oh, right. And I just
And she
wanted to skip
fully
right
lets him
over it.
because it lasts kind of a long time.
Too long. But we go to the Montgomery mausoleum, and Arya comes running in. She goes, Dad!
I mean, this is where earlier when I said she's going to realize that Mike being and working with Allison is actually going to get her so much more attention than she thinks. This is where that became very clear to me because she runs in. I mean, the way this girl is screaming, I'm like, I get it. Siblings are scary sometimes, but this is crazy. And Mike is
Mike
absolutely 3 steps behind her.
Mike runs in after her, and she goes, you stay away from me.
He's like, I can explain. Do you want to know what happened to Mona or not? And I'm like, hey, I do. Caroline Connell, the Pretty Little Podcast, does. She wants to know what happened, Mike. So I don't care what Arya says. And thank goodness we get a very telling. Okay, I'm going to because I have a lot to say about it. We get a flashback. Okay, it's Mona on the phone with Leslie, and she's putting. This is so Mona. She
So
just like
funny.
has this crazy looking fridge for, I guess, specifically blood stem cells, and she is putting a vial. She's like literally phone between her shoulder and her ear as she's placing vials of blood in here. And I'm like, not really sure where the vials are from, but they're just shooting the shit. They're like, yeah, I'll see this weekend, like whatever. And we noticed then that she's got a Band-Aid on. And I said, oh my God, wait, she's drawing her own blood in her bedroom while just on the phone with her girlfriend. I'm like, okay, Hannah might be painting her nails, multitasking when she's on the phone. Mona's taking it to a whole nother level. Okay. She can't be on speakerphone on any of these phone calls. Every single phone call Mona has is classified. She's literally has it one-handed drawing blood. It's amazing.
She is
So then
magic.
Mike walks in the room and she has to hang up with Leslie, and she tells Mike,
Shut the fridge,
because he
Mona?
sees all the blood. Yeah, shut the fridge, maybe. She has been offered a chance to make things right for Arya and the other liars by exposing A and bringing that person down. And we find out that she has all this blood, all of her own blood, because she's going to stage this murder so that she can frame Allison for it. Allison will be behind bars, and then the girls will be safe. This is the part that I realized that unfortunately it seems like Mona is unwell and Mona needs crate time. And this is where I'm like, God, just a quick little stay in Radley right here. If people in your life would have noticed these signs,
Because it's that puzzle.
could have
She's
saved your
obsessed
life.
with puzzles.
Well, she's also like, well, I got
Puzzles.
this plan from
I
A,
love
and
puzzles.
I'm even, and get this, Mike, I'm gonna get to meet A, but I have to earn it. I need to show my commitment 100%. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, this is giving
exactly.
Keith Raniere. Speaking of, you guys, Gaslight by Sarah Shepard came out last week. Her new book, Run to Go Get It. It is about like basically the Nexium cult, but the way she's talking, it's giving Stockholm syndrome. It's giving I'm in a cult, I'm in an MLM kind of thing. And she tells him that it means she's going to go away for a while. Allison's going to go to jail. And then when Mona comes back, the liars will be safe. And quote, I'm everyone's hero. And again, it's still that like need to be loved and celebrated by the people around her. And he is like not with it, obviously. And she's like, please look at the big picture. This is just temporary. And we come back to present day. And Arya does believe him. And Mike's like, we fought about it for days. She convinced me she had it under control, but now I don't think that's true. I think she's dead because we were supposed to meet up a bunch of times, but she never showed up. So now we think that A double crossed her and killed her. And that, seeing how she was feeling like she was going to do good and make things right, and like all of just this like arc we've had for Mona, and to see that that's what was going on here. I had read I didn't read them because I looked for them, but like I had seen something that was like she faked her death. And so this whole time I'm like, okay, yeah, she's dead, but she's been faking. Like she's not actually dead. And then in this moment, yes, to answer your question, I did start realizing that like it looks like
That's what she
was
thought
duped.
she was doing.
What happened to that high IQ? Again, Spencer and Mona both acted as if they don't have genius level IQs in this episode. And what I want to say to that is that crate time probably could have preserved a little bit more of their brain juice.
It's like
so they
that,
didn't get these
and not that I'm
situations.
calling them evil scientists, but it's like that evil scientist thing of like they get so wrapped up in it.
Yeah,
and they
it's like
think
the
they're so smart that they're
obsession.
not going to get duped.
Exactly.
So, yeah, guys, I think Caroline's finally come around to the truth, unfortunately. But here we are.
I mean, I'm coming around to it.
But it's that line that Mona says when she says, "And I'll be the hero."
I know.
That,
I
like,
mean,
really,
and it's the look on her face too, where I literally was like, oh God, like she's sick, like she's mentally.
I know.
This is a person who needs help, and like I just feel like she was let down by a lot of people in her life because I don't believe that there aren't signs. You know, like even in this conversation with her boyfriend, it's like. Yeah, I mean, she seems manic, you know? It doesn't seem like someone who's thinking straight. Not that she really is that much ever, but yeah. But we also know that Mike's confident Allison is an A because he only went to see Allison to see if she knew anything about A because he's here thinking A murdered Mona. And Allison was not out of jail when it happened. Or she wasn't even in Pennsylvania, apparently, because he says Cyrus got Allison out of town that day. But didn't we see her at the crime scene? We literally do.
We see her show up to the crime. She wasn't out of Pennsylvania. She just wasn't in Rosewood at the time the murders was taking place. We see her walk up to the house at the end.
Yeah.
Like after, like her mom comes back from wherever she had driven to.
Right.
And Holbrook is the press conference.
Oh yeah, because
And
that's where Mona's mom slaps her.
No, that's at the funeral.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I just have
And in
that
theory,
image in
we
my head
have
of her
the
like between the
videos.
cop cars.
Yeah. I think she's in a similar outfit. But we
Yeah.
also have the image of her throwing Mona around her house. So who knows the truth?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, what the hell? Oh my God. So then Arya asks the question we're all thinking. Why? So, okay, that's all good and fine, whatever. Why did you have her blood? And he says, she gave it to me as a promise she'd come back. And that's where I was like, ooh, that makes me feel weird. That again,
And then this is
I'd be
sad,
like,
though.
like a little alarm going off. Great time.
I do agree. But this part is sad, especially when you think of how he reacted when it broke, because he says, this is all I had left of her.
I mean, that line is exactly what I saw on his face when that vial broke. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, he does a really good job with these moments as an actor. And then he and Arya have this moment where he just breaks down sobbing again. Oh, these moments kill me. And they hug in the living room and it's sweet. And we do find out that the necklace was for Mona, but now, and so like, it would have been like a secret thing he could have given her when they met up and people wouldn't have known, but now he's not holding on to any hope. And Arya is filling in the girls at the Hastings Castle. But it is,
and
it's crazy because I didn't realize like Mike didn't know about A apparently, right? Like we didn't.
Isn't that like this A?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Cause I was like, when they're like, Mona must have really trusted Mike if she told him, because like she told him more than you did, if she was just having conversations with him about A, like, but then it's like, Mike, if you knew, I guess his priority was maybe Mona. I don't know.
Or maybe he didn't understand.
Yeah.
He might have started
maybe
like
now he's like, oh, I thought this was all like, maybe he really did think she was just like, Mona was being kind of crazy. And like, that's just Mona. But like, it isn't legit. She's paranoid.
Right. And so then they start talking about Allie and they're like, they basically at first are like, well, we can't tell Allie because we fucking handed her. They're like, well, we feel bad about how this all turned out, so we're just not going to tell her.
They're like,
we're just going to leave that be. We kind of like destroyed evidence.
Little problem. Little problem. We put a former best friend in jail behind bars and we got rid of all the evidence that could have proved her innocence. So, little issue for us. That's really like what they're saying. I don't even know who said that either. I just heard this voice, this weird accent. It wasn't even like a good one. Phoebe can't wait to be done with me. I can always tell when she's had it.
And then we realize that there's kind of someone in the window.
What else is
watching? Well, I also want you to start being able to get ready.
Well, why do you think I need so much time?
That's not even what I meant. I meant to get down there.
Can't imagine why. No, it's fine.
And And so yes, they accused her of being they're going through all this stuff. Someone's watching them through the window have this conversation, and Emily does say, like, we have to tell them what's going on.
They're like, we have to stand with her on trial now because we accused her of being I
think someone even asked, I think Spencer's the one who's like, so are we gonna say something like before the trial starts? And Emily's like, we have to.
Emily's like, well, yeah, Spence, that'd be nice.
I know that we're always like, Emily doesn't see straight when it comes to Allie. Like, she sometimes has rose-colored glasses on, but sometimes her having the rose-colored glasses on offsets how much Spencer hates her.
Yeah,
because like this is like they're reaching a normal, like, Spencer still just like hates her and is fine with her being in jail, and Emily's like, okay, well,
Spencer's like, well, here's the deal. Again, trying to get into Oxford. So this just put a little wrinkle. And Arya's like, wait, yeah, good point. Scad's on the line. And Hannah and Emily are like, so we'll do it. Like, as usual, we will be the ones who care about humanity, and you two can continue to worry about you on planet. Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah, so we get to the A scene, and this is actually setting up another really... This A is so dark.
I was like, is this the dollhouse? And then I realized, nope, it's Mike's room.
We're in Mike's room. He's reading a book called Thriving on Chaos. He's reading a book called Thriving on Chaos,
which I will be looking up because I need to know what the hell that's
about.
If it's real. It must be important. It must come up again if they showed us.
I don't know. I never noticed it. And A's like looking through his bag at first, and then puts the bag down, and then picks up a dumbbell to get a couple curls in, and then...
Like, tired already? It's a 5-pounder. My God.
From its back pocket, we see a wrench.
And I'm like, what are you going to do with that? Like, what do you need that for? It's just a book. You just flip the pages with your hands. You can just pick up the weights with your hands.
We see A start to approach the bench, the weightlifting bench.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay, this is going to be like the scaffolding thing when A, like, just loosened everything on the scaffolding on Toby's house or whatever.
I believe so.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, you want to read the synopsis for next week, which is, lucky for you, 1 sentence long?
Oh, shoot.
I have it up. Do you want me to send it to you?
You just want to read it?
Oh.
Yep, you can send it to me.
I'll just read it. It's quicker. All right, next episode, season 5, episode 21, called Bloody Hell. You know, I didn't plan on reading it, but thank God I got to. Anyway, it is equipped with their information about Mona. The liars decide they need to speak to Allison. That's it. So I'm sure it'll be riveting. Don't worry, we'll make it exciting. All right, few housekeeping things.
Back.
Next week, you guys, we are starting a new little segment in collaboration with our friend Robert, who runs the iconic Pretty Little Liars fan account at Liars Until Death. Okay, so every week, we are going to ask you guys to submit fan theories about the show. Do not go past what we're watching now. You know the drill. No spoilers. But any theories, you guys send them to us all the time. Things that you want to hear our thoughts on or whatever. So you're going to send them in. So you have to go follow his account at Liars Until Death. Probably a lot of you already do. And then we're going to choose our favorites, and we'll discuss them for like a few minutes on Thursday episodes. So you can listen to the ep, see if yours was chosen. We will also be posting it on Instagram. But in order to join in the fun, we're at least going to do it through season 5. So make sure you're following, again, at Liars Until Death to submit your theories. And then obviously make sure you're following us at the Pretty Little Podcast. The O in podcast is a 0. That's on Instagram. We post all our updates, lots of memes and awesome content. So lots of fun things coming in October. Follow us there. Follow us on TikTok at the Pretty Little Podcast. Everything is totally normal in that username. And then please, 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 if you wouldn't mind subscribing to our show wherever you listen, and make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and a review, even if you can. Tomorrow on Patreon, for all honorary Connell sisters, we will have a recap of the pilot episode of Friday Night Lights to celebrate the return of football season and fall and high school and good old suburban high school. And next month,
the epic highs and lows
of
high school
American football in high school. And next month, in Our Mom's Twin is in it, Connie Britton. So we're going to watch it and just feel warm and fuzzy the whole time.
Maybe we should do the pilot of Nashville.
Okay. This is now a Connie Britton podcast. We're doing Dirty John next. Actually, we should do Dirty John because that was good. Next month, guys, we're thinking of doing a little jam session for the Patreon. So let us know what you think of that and if you have any song requests. And that is it. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it was worth the wait. Thank you for waiting and being patient. We love you. I promise we are back. And we will see you next week. And splat.
And Blat.